Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, it is Thursday. We are so close to the weekend. If you are joining me today, then you are in for a treat because we are talking about foundations for the drugstore. But we can't just start and dive right in because how fun would that be? So one of the things I was hoping I would get you guys to share with me today is we usually talk about what are you drinking, and it's usually water, or some of you drink wine, coffee, whatever. So I thought we'd change it up a little bit. The older I get, the more I'm on these craving kicks for a while. Like I'll get one food and then I'll want to eat nothing but that for a little while. Right now, you guys, it's moon pies. I have found which convenience stores in my area carry these and which convenience stores in my area do not. Only the chocolate ones. I don't care for the vanilla or the banana, but I will go out of my way to find a moon pie. And then if I get home and have not eaten it, which is rare, then I will put this in the microwave for 10 seconds. And it is like the most amazing thing ever. These have been around since I don't even know. Well, it says there, I do know. It says 1917. They're delicious. So I want to know what you guys are snacking on. Like when you're having a day and you're like, I just need something. What is that something? Is it a McDonald's burger? Is it fries? Is it a Dr. Pepper from Wendy's? Like, what is your thing? Not mine's moon pies. Mine, Jen, is yours moon pies too? Good, good. Somebody in my local area they're on them lately too. Cause I feel like it's this battle when they get a new case. There's 9 in a case. And they come out on Thursdays. And I know that sadly, because by Wednesday, there's none left in the box. And I think there's a guy in the area that is like on the same kick because it's almost like a race to this one convenience store to get them before anyone else does. Oh, Twizzlers. Yes. Red or black? Oh, chocolate Twizzlers. Chocolate Twizzlers for Monica. That's so fun. I love it. I love going out of our way to find a snack. And the older I get, I don't even care. I'll just snack all day long. All right, you guys, let's get into red Twizzlers. Yay. Okay, so we got a lot of moon pie people. So it's not just me. Okay, because I do feel like I'm competing with 12-year-olds to get these from the store. But they're hard to find. Let me know if you guys can find them in your area now that you go to your local convenience store. Oreos is good. Oh, Oreos is good. I went to Dairy Queen the other day and had an Oreo blizzard. So good. All right, so let's talk about drugstore foundations. And the only reason I'm calling them drugstore is because that's where you get them. The price point really does dictate the drugstore title, if you will, or the label. But drugstore products, you guys have come so far. In fact, I'm doing on Sunday, my video that's coming out is a everyday makeup look using all drugstore. And again, that just means that they're more cost effective than your luxury items that you would get at the department store. So the way I categorize these, I call them the best of, but best of really is less about what works for mature skin. It's more about what works for your skin type, your lifestyle, and the overall finish or look that you're going for. Foundation is one of those products foundation and concealer are the 2 products that I get the most questions about wherever I am. So I want this to be really interactive today. Fire away your questions. We'll pull up as many of them as we can as we get through this. But by the end of today, and you guys, I'm going to be looking up a little bit because I have so many notes on this because I really wanted to make sure that I didn't leave anything out. But before the end of the day today, we're going to know the best overall for dry to normal mature skin, the best lightweight everyday foundation, the best for very dry skin, and the best long wearing foundation. And some of you may have some of these, and if not, hopefully they're new to you. All right. My favorite personal what are moon pies? Oh, Granny DMP. Should we digress for a second? Are you guys fine if we digress off of, okay, you had to ask, so I got to answer that, and then we'll get into foundations. So moon pies are these little chocolate dipped graham cracker. It's like a Big Mac. So it's coated on each side with graham crackers and a graham cracker in the middle and then marshmallow in between. It's a double decker. So good. And again, they come in vanilla and banana as well. All right. So my overall favorite foundation for the drugstore is, you guys know, is Complexion Crush. This is by Ulta Beauty, but this is only available at Ulta. And I know many of you watch from around the world. A lot of you come in from Canada, and Ulta is not available in Canada. Some people don't like this because it is a soft matte finish, but it offers a medium to full coverage, which is why I like it. You'll also notice that it's in a little bit darker shade. I mean, it's almost completely gone, so I probably need another one. I do wear this one a lot. Now, what this is not good for is if you are oily in the T-zone, this does have a tendency to get a little bit shiny throughout the day, but the coverage is fantastic. It is, again, medium to full coverage. You just wear the smallest amount, but it is soft matte. And like I said, not everybody loves a soft matte. So I had to include that because it wouldn't be a best of foundation if I didn't put that one in there, but I know that it is just not the right one for everyone. And yes, you can add some glotion to it to give it a little bit of a pop. So let's talk about the foundation that is for the woman that says, oh, hi. All right. I love these live streams, you guys. I only do them once a month, but maybe we should do them more often because I feel like we're all just like sitting here putting our makeup together. All right. This next foundation is for those of you that say, I just want my skin to look like skin and I don't want a real heavy foundation. Then my number one pick for you would be the True Match Nude by L'Oreal. This is in shade 2-3. It is a light coverage. It has hydration and it does blur texture, which is why I like it. It also is excellent for people that don't like a heavy feel to your makeup. You don't need time to dry this down. It doesn't oxidize. Many foundations don't oxidize so much anymore. You can buy the pump for this. You can see it's called a tinted serum, and this is exactly why. It is thin like a serum. You don't need a lot. I find that putting this on with my fingers works the very best. I don't find that a brush works so well because it is so thin that I feel like I get a few brush strokes when I use this one. This sells for $17 to $21, depending on where you get it. It's not too dewy though, even though it does have that 1% hyaluronic acid in it. It doesn't leave your skin looking wet. You know that feeling where you just feel like your foundation never dries down? I don't get that from this. This is that foundation that is really good for people that just want a no makeup look, but want to cover up some imperfections in their skin. Excuse me. That's who this one is my favorite for. So a good, healthy look to the skin. And this comes in, I think, 24 shades. So nice shade selection. These will all be linked down below if you want to know more about them or look more for your shade. All right. The second foundation that I absolutely love, this was True Match Nude. This is L'Oreal's True Match Hyaluronic Face Balm. In Sunday's tutorial, I show you exactly how I use this. I apply this one with my fingers. This contains no alcohol. So for those of you that don't like alcohol in your foundation, this is a great option. This does have emollient. It has wax. It has light to medium coverage, very easy to use, covers all your imperfections. It is very buildable. It's great for women that maybe have more dry patches and you don't want to emphasize your dry patches. This does not do that. This is also really good for easy touch-ups of your makeup. It can feel rich on oily skin. So if you are oily or even in your T-zone, this can start to feel a little bit overhydrated. You would just want to damp with a little bit of powder or just go with a mattifying primer prior to this in that T-zone area. It's also really good for people that don't want to have to reapply their makeup all day if you've got dry skin and you like some skincare in your makeup. I did compare this with the It Cosmetics Do It All, and they both tested really well. They wore both for 8+ hours. This one just gives a little bit more of a dewy finish, where the It Cosmetics gave a little bit more of a blurring effect to the skin. And again, this one is medium to full coverage. In terms of coverage, I would give it 3 out of 5 stars because it does cover. If you try to go full coverage with it, though, it's going to start to look a little cakey. The one downside to this one, I think, I'm going to try to, it only comes in 12 shades, so that's a little bit of a downside. The other thing just to note is that this is all you get for $15. And I do think that there's just room for improvement there. I mean, you can see how thin that is. There's a mirror in the bottom and a nice little sponge if you want to use that. But I just feel like it's actually $16, depending on where you are in Canada, it's probably $25. So it just feels like there could be more product in that. But that is my second choice. And again, this is pretty good for the person that wants a cream foundation. You don't like liquid foundations. You want medium coverage and you have dry or combo skin. Okay, we have with freckles, soft matte can look so muddy. I am stuck between full coverage or nothing, still looking for that in between. That's interesting because I have freckles too, and that's why I like a medium to full coverage because I like to cover up my freckles. I don't find that it looks muddy. I'm wondering if maybe you are wearing something that's a little too cool or too neutral for your skin. You might want to just go a little to the warm side, and that will help get away from that muddy look, perhaps. Give that a try. And if you have already, let me know and we'll go on to another. We'll try to problem solve another problem. All right, so that is my number 2. This is fairly new, you guys. You can find this at a lot of places. I think Walmart has it. Target has it. Ulta has it. I think Amazon even has it. So pretty easy to get a hold of. I really, really like this foundation. Hi, Tommy Coffer. I think, did I say that right? Yes. All right. We're going through this so fast. Okay, so Jen, I love watching you because I have the same deep set, prominent brow bone eye shape. It's so difficult not to make them look even deeper with shadow. That is so true. And I was I met with a group of 15 ladies yesterday to do a makeup class with them. And it's interesting when you try to teach someone how to do eye makeup because everyone's eye shape is different. It's either a hooded eye shape or it's droopy eye shape or it's a deep set eye shape. And deep set are, I think, some of the hardest ones to apply makeup on. It's always you want what you can't have, right? I see women that have hooded eyes and I think they look absolutely stunning. It's just a lot of lid space. And if you have it, it's hard because you're like, okay, I got to get the right colors. And it's just a whole thing, right, Jen? It is a whole thing. So I'm grateful for it. But yes, I do see women that have hooded eyes and I'm like, oh, that looks so beautiful on you. All right, so let's go to our third one. Now, this is probably the most skincare infused formula that I have. And I did try this a few months ago on a Friday Face Off. And you guys, I really like this one. This is the Lifter foundation by Maybelline. This is their Plump and Glow. I have it in shade, is that 118? Yeah, 118. Here's why I like this one. This has niacinamide in it. It has shea butter. It has peptides. It has green tea, and it has sodium hyaluronate. So it feels more like a serum. So like this one wears like a serum. You can see how thin that is. This one wears like a serum, but you don't have to apply it as thin as a serum. You can see how it wears a little thicker. So it's easier to work with than the True Match Nude, for example. This is really good for women that want skincare in their foundation. If you've got dry skin, sensitive skin, more mature skin, obviously, normal skin, this offers normal, medium to full coverage. It is buildable. It looks really thick there because I put a whole bunch on. It is buildable. And when you build this, it doesn't look as though you've got a ton of foundation on. This has a natural radiant finish. The other thing I like about this one, this is probably, besides the Ultra Complexion Crush, this is probably my most favorite because not only can you build it to full coverage and it gives you that dewy finish, but it also is flexible and very skin-like. It's very comfortable. It moves with your face. It doesn't settle into fine lines and wrinkles. You don't need to powder it to get it to last all day. And it just leaves you with I used way too much. Of course, I need to wipe that off with my moon pie package. This leaves you with the overall healthiest looking skin, in my opinion, for the true 8+ hour wear that you get out of it. So this would be, again, my second top pick. If you do like a matte foundation and you're unable to get the Complexion Crush, you could get something like this. It'll give you the same wear as the Complexion Crush. And then you can either put a light dusting of powder over it, or you could spray it with a matte setting spray. I don't necessarily do that. It's not like it's super shiny. It's not like it's really glowy. And some people like that anyway, but it's not overly glowy. So that is the Maybelline Lifter Plump and Glow. Again, this is in shade 118. This one sells for about $17 and comes in 24 different shades. Jen, I only tried that one once. It separates so badly around my mouth and chin. I may have to try it again. I probably used too much skincare. Oh, this one right here. If it's this one, yeah, this one you just need your sunscreen and a little bit of moisturizer, but not a lot because this does have a significant amount of skincare in it. And it can be a little bit slippery if you've put it on top of something else. All of these start with water in the ingredient, but they do have a silicone element to them. So it shouldn't interfere with your skincare layering or your concealer or any other products that you put after this. But if you're finding that it separates, yeah, you definitely want to have a little bit less skincare maybe underneath and or just a touch of powder to put on top of this. Oh, welcome for the first time. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for chiming in and saying hi. So this would be, you guys, my number three. This is number 3 in the lineup, but this would be my number 1 pick if you can't get the complexion crush. And even if you can, the difference between these two is way more skincare. It'll probably look better on your skin because it does offer that natural glow versus this one's going to be a little bit more matte. So, and I think I'm kind of getting out of my matte era, but I mean, who knows? Well, maybe not. We'll just see how the summer goes. All right. So what I'd like to know, yes, you said it right, but this is his wife. Well, you know, we don't normally have men join us, but I didn't know. I welcome everybody. Well, good. Mrs. Tommy Coffer, we are glad that you are here on his tablet. Any way to get here, we're happy that you're here. All right, you guys. So now let's go to my fourth but fifth one. And this one comes in 24 shades. This is also Maybelline. And I'm sorry that none of these are cruelty-free. L'Oreal and Maybelline. Maybelline is part of L'Oreal company. They do sell their products in China. And in China, they have to test on animals before they can sell to consumers. So that's why many of these big makeup brands are not cruelty-free because they do sell in China, and it is a different restriction in China. They have to test on animals before they can bring it to consumers. So none of these are cruelty-free, but they are good options if you want a good drugstore price point. All right, so the next one is the Maybelline Superstay 30-hour wear. Now, I originally had the Superstay skin tint in this lineup, but the more I wore these two side by side, they are formulated slightly different. This is not the newer version of this. This is a skin tint. So it wears very much like the L'Oreal that I talked about earlier. I just found that it didn't last as long as the L'Oreal. So that's why this one got booted for the first one that I shared with you early on. This one I like for different reasons. This one sells for about $17. This also has niacinamide glycerin. It is hydrating to the skin. Let's go on this side. It's a little thicker formula, very much like the Plump and Glow by Maybelline, but it has a little bit more light coverage and you can build it to medium coverage. So this is for the person that says, I like to have makeup on and I need it to wear all day long. I need a long lasting foundation. I don't have to have completely full coverage, although you can see how well that builds. This is good for your long days. This also contains amino acids in it. This works for the person that likes the foundation, but you don't like the feeling of the foundation on your skin. This is also a natural finish. Soft focus, not a flat matte. So you don't have to worry about adding too much highlighter to bring that look back to your skin. So of all the ones that I shared so far, this is the one that's going to give you the longest wear and the medium coverage with that dewy finish. So it's a little less skincare than the Plump and Glow, but it's going to last longer. So you kind of have to decide what it is that you really need out of your foundation and what you're looking for with your specific skin type. Now, a couple of things when we're talking about foundation is to think about what do you want in terms of the finish? Do you want a natural matte? Do you want a soft matte? Do you want a natural glow? And there's really no wrong answer. It really just depends on what you're going for at the time. And then you need to decide, obviously, what coverage you want. Do you want light to medium? Well, sheer coverage, that's the lightest. And then do you want to build it so that you can go to maybe the next level. So if you've got light coverage, but some days you want medium, then you're going to want to decide what kind of coverage you're looking for. I stick usually with a medium coverage. And here's why. I feel like with medium coverage, you can build it to be full coverage on those days that you want a heavier glam day, or you can sheer it out by adding a little face oil, a little face moisturizer, and bring it down to a sheer to light coverage. So falling right in the middle in terms of coverage really allows you the versatility to go either way with your foundation. And then you just have to decide what you're looking for in terms of the wear and how long you need it to last. A couple of the things we'll talk about with foundation, you guys. So those are my favorite drugstore. And again, we'll have those linked down below, and those are the reasons why. But the thing to remember when it comes to your foundation for more mature skin is our application process. You can apply your foundation over a primer if you want to. I am not a big fan of primers. I will apply a sunscreen and then a moisturizer. Now we'll pause on that for a second, because one of the questions I get most often is, do you put sunscreen before moisturizer or moisturizer before sunscreen? And there are so many different schools of thoughts on this that I would just encourage you to research that yourself, because I was always taught that if your sunscreen is a chemical sunscreen, you put it on after your moisturizer. If your sunscreen is a mineral sunscreen, you put it on before your moisturizer. Now, I have checked with 3 different dermatologists, and each one of them have said it really doesn't matter as long as you have both, specifically the sunscreen. But and as we get older, we definitely need the moisturizer as well. So how you layer those two, you get, depending on how many people you ask, that's how many different answers you get. Krista from Oregon. Hello. And I saw somebody from the UK a second ago too. So I love that. There from the UK. Hello, hello. You guys, I am so excited to do these live streams. The ability to interact with you guys is so fun. I love doing the videos for you every week, but really getting to sit and, I mean, I feel like this is interacting in the year 2026, right? Okay, Tina, I need a full coverage, but a more soft matte natural finish, if that makes sense. Yeah. So are you in the US? Can you get to, look, that's me because I just made a mess. My bottles aren't normally this messy, but I had to scrape some off because I put too much on my hand. If you can get to Ulta, you might like this. This is a soft matte. It is full coverage. You don't need a lot. And I love this one if you're in the US. All right, so now let's talk about the primers a little bit, you guys. Again, I don't find that you need a primer as we've gotten older, with the caveat being if you find that you have oily skin, then you would maybe want to put on a mattifying primer wherever you're oily. And I don't know about you guys, but back in the day, I was really oily and I hated it. And boy, would I give anything to have those oily days back, because my skin just looked better than it does now that it's dry. I mean, everywhere. I'd rather have my oily skin. But if you find that you have oily skin, then you would want to use a mattifying primer. Outside of that, I don't find that primers do much for my more mature skin. Even if you've got really dry skin, if you use a good moisturizer and allow that to absorb onto your skin before your foundation, that also eliminates the need for a hydrating primer. I do like the one from Laura Geller if you find that you just need another layer of hydration. Her Laura Geller Spackle Hydrating Primer is a good one. I just don't need the extra hydration to add yet another layer to my face. But if you do, that would be a good one. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the application process. I apply this kind of a formula, these creams, completely with my fingers, and I don't hate it. I actually kind of like it. It was almost refreshing the other day to film a makeup tutorial for you guys where I used my fingers and had so much fun doing it. It was somewhat satisfying in a weird kind of way. So you can use your fingers. You can use a damp beauty sponge. Caveat on the word damp. Your beauty sponge are meant to be damp. Get them wet. Squeeze out all the water. They should double in size. And then you're going to put any of your foundations on the back of your hand and then use your application tool. So whether you're using a damp beauty sponge or a brush that looks like this, or another brush, I also like this one. This is the BK Beauty 101 brush. This is actually a contour powder brush, but I love this for foundation. This is Nikki LaRose in 17. This is actually a foundation brush, but you can see the differences in the size. It really doesn't matter what kind of brush you use for your foundation if you find that it works for you. This one I like if I'm wearing a thicker formula. So something like this one, I'll typically reach for a brush like this because it allows you to get less product, really work it in your product. Side note on this, you guys, anything that you're going to do on your more mature face, whether it is blush, any cream products, whether it's blush, bronzer, contour, foundation, concealer, anything should always go on the back of your hand now as we've gotten older. Now, there's no rules in makeup. So let me say that first. I don't want anybody to say I'm making rules. There's not. But you will find that your finished product, your finished look will be so much more, I don't want to say polished, but more seamless and flawless and professional, elevated looking if you apply your products on the back of your hand first and then go in with your brush, work that product into your brush. And then for more mature skin, go around your face with your foundation and then work it to the center. Now, the reason that's important is because this is high movement areas. Our eyes move a lot, our foreheads move a lot, our mouth moves a lot, and that's where wrinkles from experience over the years have developed. Wherever you put that brush first on your face is where the most product is going to land. And it gets to be less product the more times you pounce it around your face. We want the most product, although not a lot of product, but the most product on our brush in the parts of our face that is the smoothest and has the least amount of movement. And unless there's some unusual circumstance, that's typically going to be the sides right through here and right around our hairline. So that's where you're going to want to put that first and then work your way into those high movement areas. Now, I think that I was doing a class the other day and one of the ladies said, if you could suggest one change for women with more mature makeup, what would that be? And honestly, you guys, I think the one thing I would say is apply everything on the back of your hand first and then pick it up with a brush. And that's your blushes. Again, all the things that I just mentioned, because you just use less product. And when you see that your makeup is separating around this area, or it is gathered into fine lines, or it is really accentuated your wrinkles, it's typically the first reason to look at is it's probably too much product. When you have too much product, it just has nowhere to go. I mean, look at the back of my hands. They just look crazy because there's so much product on them right now. So you really want to just be careful of using too much product. All right, so we've talked about the best foundations for drugstore. We've talked about the tools to use them, whether it's your fingers, damp beauty sponge, 2 different style of brushes, whichever one works best for you, and the application process itself. So I want to hear from you guys, like if we're just girlfriends chit-chatting, what is it that's bothering you about your foundation application? And let's just answer them in live, because I think many of you may have the same question and maybe just don't want to ask it. So we're going to make it very interactive. Okay. Thank you for my first question. Is there a better solution to large pores than a primer? I find that the right skincare leading up to, and I don't mean prep the day of, I mean the right skincare, things like a vitamin C and a retinol will all help the way your pores are looking. So then when it comes to be makeup time, the pores don't look as enlarged. If you find that a good skincare product program isn't enough and you don't like the look of your pores, then yes, a silicone primer would work really well. But again, just in the areas that you feel like you need it. So wherever you feel like your pores are enlarged. And you guys, I would just say, so that's a good question. I hope that helps. A good silicone primer, if your skincare isn't working, would be my first suggestion. But again, very conservatively, just in those areas. And if you're finding that your pores look enlarged, I would question that only because I guess what I'd say is give yourself a reality check, a gut check. And do they really look large to you, or do they look large to you compared to what you see whether it's online or whatever, anything else. Because I made a comment about 3 years ago about how we've made our pores be such a thing, and like, when did not having pores become the look to have? And it's so many filters are on everything anymore that everyone's skin looks so flawless. If you guys saw the amount of lights that I had in my studio to do these videos, it is insane. But because they're makeup videos, you almost have to use so much light. But the light does make the pores look flawless. I mean, I don't think they look flawless, but they look better than without the light. My point is that I know I'm getting almost burnout of being online, not doing videos for you guys, but scrolling at night, because I don't feel better about myself after I've been scrolling. I feel worse because I see other women's skin and their faces, and I think, God, my skin doesn't look like that. Why? She's 60, 65 and her skin looks better. Why? What am I doing wrong? And it's really because I have to do a reality check and be like, Jody, those are filters, filters, filters. I don't use filters on my videos. I edit my own videos. I use iMovie. There isn't a filter in iMovie. So you guys can rest assured I don't, but I do have a lot of light, and the light does help smooth things out. But I want to normalize what pores looks like again. Yes, exfoliating. Yeah, absolutely. Great point. Again, part of your skincare routine is exfoliating, because what happens is your dead skin starts to build up and it makes the pores look even larger. And once you scuff off, almost like shaving a couple layers of that dead skin off, your pores look smaller. They don't look as creviced as they would if you hadn't exfoliated yet. Does that kind of make sense? So that's a really good point. Again, the things about the uneven texture and the enlarged pores is really more of your skincare routine and what to adjust in that versus expecting your makeup or the layering of your primer and your foundation to help with the pores. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, when buying new brushes, am I supposed to wash them? I do, just because I wash my clothes when I first buy them too. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not trusting. I would say, just out of good practice, you should. I use Cinema Secrets to wash my brushes. You can get it on Amazon. I don't have it in here. It's in my vanity, but it's just a blue bottle. It's called Cinema Secrets. You just pour a little bit of it in a cup. It actually comes with a cup if you get that with your purchase. You just dab this in it and then swish it around. All the makeup comes off. You put it on a dry brush and let it dry. So you don't have to when you first get them. I would just, out of abundance of caution, suggest that you do. In my mind, I always wonder, what if it fell on the floor and they just stuck it back in? And hopefully they don't do that. But I'm sure BK Beauty does not do that. I've seen pictures of their warehouse. It's very clean. So if they're BK Beauty brushes, you probably don't have to do that, but I would. Okay, so let's see. Your advice is always so helpful and easy to incorporate into my morning makeup. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I share with you guys what works for me and what doesn't work. So thank you very much. That means a ton. I still get darkness under my eyes, my upper lip, and parts of my chin. What are your thoughts on color correcting with looking too layered or cakey? That's such a great question. I'm so glad you asked that. So it's always better to add 2 thin layers of something than 1 thick layer of a concealer. So if you have discoloration in the areas that you've said, upper lip, under your eyes, and parts of your chin, I would highly recommend using a color corrector to neutralize the darkness, and then a thin layer of concealer to brighten the area. Your concealer is never going to neutralize the darkness, but a color corrector does. So a thin layer of color corrector, neutralize that skin, and then you can put a concealer on top of it to brighten that area. Otherwise, if you try to use a concealer to do that, one of my favorite concealers is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Concealer. This is a thick concealer, but I don't use very much of it at once. I obviously use a lot of it over the time because it's almost gone, but I don't use very much of it at one time. That is going to add brightness, and as thick as that is, it's still not going to cover. And there are days where I try to cheat and just go with that concealer underneath my eyes, and it never works. It still looks purple even through a thick concealer. So the most effective, efficient, and beautiful, flawless way, thin layer of color corrector. There are some really good color correctors on the market. Costas has a good one. I like the one from RMS. It's the Refresh. I wear it in the shade Cherish, and it's very hydrating. So not only does it neutralize any dark areas, but it also adds hydration throughout the day. So you're not going to get that crepey look of the skin. So that's a good one. Yeah. And then Costas would be my second recommendation. Another thing, you guys, that I just recently discovered, and I have been loving it. I'm just sharing all kinds of stuff today because why not? We're here visiting. I don't know if you guys have tried this. It looks like you'd pronounce it D'Alba. They have a lot of good products, but this is pronounced D'Alba, by the way. I said it wrong the first time. So this product is, remember a couple years ago when that whole add Aquaphor under your eyes, not to sandwich it, but to use it as a hydrator or moisturizer. And it does work, but some people start to get those little white bumps under their eyes. So it doesn't work for everyone, but this is called their double serum all-in-one multi-balm. And I have been wearing this for like the last 3 weeks, maybe 4. Before I put on my concealer, I just literally go like this. So there's nothing under my eyes yet. There is right now, but when I'm doing my makeup, after I'm done with my face, put on my moisturizer, my sunscreen, I will take this and just really put it underneath my eyes where I have the most wrinkles. And because of the hydration and the brightening in the same stick, I just rub my fingers in and let it tap away. And then I will go on about my makeup. It's almost like applying chapstick to your lips to hydrate them and plump them before you put on your lipstick. This stuff has been, I don't know where this has been. Apparently people have been talking about it for a long time. You guys may have even seen it. I'm late to the game with this one. I have tried their setting spray, really like it. At first I thought it was just sounded gimmicky to me, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I've actually reached out to them and said, I love it so much. Can we get a discount code? They haven't got back to me, but fingers crossed if they do. So that has really helped with the creasing underneath my eyes. I don't set my under eye makeup with powder. So, but I still get that crepey look to my skin. Do you put your foundation under your eye? Just avoid inner for concealer. I do put it everywhere because on days that I don't need a color corrector, I just want the whole thing to be the same tone. And then I will go in and brighten right through here. And I'll put it on so you guys can kind of see. I'm going to over exaggerate it just so that you can see. So yes, I do put my foundation everywhere. Thin coats, very thin coat. Again, because I've worked that foundation from the outside to the inner perimeter. There's not much left on the brush, but it just gives my whole face the same look as my foundation. Then I will take my concealer, and after it's been sitting on my hand for probably 30 seconds or so, like it was just there, and then I'll go right through here, and then the ugly part is look like this, and you'll see where it is dark through here, and then I'll go with that concealer right on the dark side of that to hide that puffiness, and then just softly blend it and always take it into the temple because I've lost collagen through here. You can see how sucked in that is because there's no collagen anymore in my temple. That's one of the first places that we lose it. So I'll just take this brightener and go right up through here to make this area seem a little bit more out. If you make a mistake and put contour or bronzer through here, this will look even more sucked in, and that's not the look. See the difference between that side and this side? Doesn't this look brighter and younger, more youthful than this side? Nikki, I'm so glad you made it. You were going to get a hard time in the comments on Sunday's video if you missed another live stream. Nikki has been with me from probably almost the very beginning. And you guys, today is my 5th year anniversary on YouTube. So I should have started with that, but I don't want to make it all about me. But 5 years, Nikki's been with me for probably 4.5 of those. And she's missed a couple live streams, so she was feeling bad about it. So I've been using the D'Alba multi-stick. Oh, good. So you've used it. Oh, yeah, it is on Prime. It probably is on Prime days. So yeah, check that out right now. Oh, it's $11. Oh, gosh. Don't get off the live stream right now. Just do double duty if you need to pull it up in another screen. order it because Prime days are still today, right? I think they go to the end of the day today. So yes, hot buy, $11. I think I need to order another one. All right. Can you recommend exfoliating products for the face? Also, how often should you exfoliate? Exfoliating is really depends on your skin, how dry your skin is. You want to exfoliate it. I do it once a week, but I have, I don't know, average dry skin, I guess. I'm not super dry, but I'm dry enough that I need to exfoliate. And what I use to exfoliate, I actually have it right here. Da-da-da-da. I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm so glad I put on pants today. I'm just kidding. I always put on pants when I'm going to be on a live stream, but don't we have the worst fear of one of these days someone's going to ask us for something, you stand up and realize that you're in your shorts or worse, your undergarments? I always have my pants on. All right. The one I like to exfoliate with are these pads by Marie. And you guys, I also get these on Amazon. So check over and see if these are on Amazon right now too. These are glycolic pads. These are glycolic pads. I exfoliate with this. It has a glycolic acid in it. They're very easy to use. I don't know why it comes with this spoon. I guess so you don't dig in with your dirty fingers like I just did, but I've never used the spoon. These are by Marie. They're glycolic acid and vitamin renewal complex. This is what I just wipe my face with every Sunday evening for exfoliation. So again, these are probably on Prime as well. That's such a great question. Look at us shopping together today. See, it's not always about affiliate links, you guys. It's about what works and when you can get it on sale. All right. What other questions? I just tried the Maybelline Wonder Snatch Concealer and I'm loving it. Oh, really? Okay. I have not tried that one yet. We're probably due for a concealer Friday face off here. So maybe I need to grab that one. L'Oreal, Morphe, and Pixie Beauty have all really done a great job lately with their new formulations. So if you are new to makeup and you're like, gosh, Jody, I don't even know where to start to build my kit, I do have a video on what I would put in your starter kit. But if you're just browsing the aisles and you're like, what's a good brand lately that's at the drugstore price point, Morphe and Pixie Beauty I've been super impressed with it. You like my lip combo today. Thank you. This is Victoria Beckham lip liner number 2 and her lipstick in shade Girl. And I know that because I did it right before I came down and turned on the studio lights. It's my favorite. Thank you. Thank you. Happy 5th. I wouldn't have made it 5 years if it wasn't for you guys. I'll tell you that. There are some, YouTube is not as easy as they all make it seem. I'll tell you that. Oh, Jan, I'm so glad you didn't miss my live. Thank you for tuning in from Canada. Yeah, you guys, it's been 5 years. I left my corporate job right after COVID. I mean, it was still kind of COVID, I guess, in June of 21. And yeah, I got disillusioned with corporate and didn't want to do it anymore and thought I just want to be with other women that have shared concerns and how fun can it be talking about makeup. So that's kind of why we're here talking about makeup, because our skin just changes as we get older. We need to change how we apply the makeup. And I also think that we need to start asking different questions of, oh, thank you for answering my questions. I'm glad you're here too. It wouldn't be as much fun if I was sitting here talking by myself. I do that like 8 times a month with my videos. So this is really more fun having you guys to interact with. I hope you're in front of a mirror and you've got your makeup there and you're just kind of playing along with your makeup while we're doing this. We'll do that in our next live. We'll actually do our makeup together and I won't talk about like the best of or my favorites. We'll do a whole look together. Sunday's video is a look. It is like I said, it's a clean girl aesthetic look, maturely modified though, because that clean girl aesthetic is really popular with the millennials and Gen Zs, but we need to maturely modify it for our more mature skin. So that video is on Sunday. But maybe the next live we'll do an actual tutorial and we'll do some makeup and stuff together. And then in August, you guys, the live stream I'm super excited about. Penn Smith Skincare, if you follow her, really knowledgeable about skincare. She's 53. Beautiful skin. So she's going to be with us to share her skincare tips and some of her favorite products. And that will be in August. So you don't want to miss that one. Oh, thank you for tuning in from the Netherlands. So good to have you. What time is it in the Netherlands right now? It's 9 hours past East Coast time, I think, if I've got that right. Or maybe it's 6 hours past because I always fly. I used to have to fly to Amsterdam for work. I used to work for Randstad, which is big there in the Netherlands. And yeah, I think it's 9 hours from here. Yes, so Penn is going to be joining me in August. I met her a few weeks ago, and you guys, isn't it nice meeting women in your 50s and 60s? And it's not easy meeting new women in this age bracket, but once you do, isn't it like somehow we figured out how to sort through the BS of the type of people we want to hang out with, where in our 20s and 30s, it's just a wider net because you're at areas to meet people where there's just so many more people. So you become friends with so many more. It's bedtime. Fair enough. Fair. Fair enough. But in your 50s and 60s, I just find like when I do invest my time with somebody, it's like I want to spend time with that person. I don't spend a lot of time getting to know people if I'm not interested in getting to know them. You know what I mean? So Penn and I hit it off great. We actually lived in the same community during the same time in Southern California back in 2010. And I don't know how we didn't run into each other. We had to have at some point, just didn't even know it. So we're pretty sure we are separated at birth. We almost look alike. She's gorgeous though. So I don't want to, I wish I looked like her, but she will be joining us to talk all about skincare. All right, you guys. So I don't want to keep you too much longer, but we have time if there's still questions, anything anybody else needs to know, wants to know about makeup or moon pies. If you didn't join, did you guys put anything in about what you like to snack on besides I saw licorice and stuff? Tommy Coffer's wife has a tip for us. As I do my skincare and complexion products, I let my concealer doe foot dry down on the counter a little before I apply it. Excellent tip. Yes, I put it on the back of my hand and let it dry down a little bit. I actually learned that tip from Nikki LaRose. She always lets her concealer dry a little bit. She'll put it on her face and let it dry a little before she pats it. But I totally agree with you. Just allowing the little bit of alcohol to dry out, it makes it a little bit easier to move in place, but stay in place. So thanks. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that tip. Yeah. Okay. So for those of you that have joined a little late, we started off talking about what is your go-to snack if you're driving home and you're just like, I've had a day. We've all had a day. You just need a little snack. Some people it's salt stuff. Some people it's sugar stuff. For me, it's chocolate moon pies. I absolutely love these. Okay. We got Snickers. Yes, there is gooey marshmallow inside. It's so good. Oh, banana popsicles. Oh my gosh, I don't know that I've ever had a banana popsicle, but I love banana flavored things. Klondike ice cream sandwiches, solid, especially this time of the year. Good choice. And then you get the one with like the peanuts on it. Oh, Diane, you missed it. It is the 5th anniversary of the channel. Diane is also one of the very first people. Diane is from Canada. So many of you guys were really so great about helping the channel grow early on from Canada. So really glad that Diane is here. I'm sending all of you guys the biggest virtual hug. I wish we were all in the same room. Yes, it is so exciting when you meet people at our age bracket. We're not trying to be anybody else. We have common challenges, whether it's caring for an elderly parent or sending kids off to school or off to college or becoming grandparents for the first time. Some women our age are going through all of that all at once. And it's nice that we're talking about things that we have in common and we can help each other out and give just a good ear to listen to versus the things that we had to talk about in our 20s, like how weird this guy was or whatever. Yes, my inner circle is smaller now at 55 than in my 30s. It was huge. It was overwhelming, I think. And now it's just a smaller group of people that you just find are your people, right? And it's just the one thing I have to say about women that are our age is the judgment and the judginess. I don't know if it just goes away or if we just don't care as much, but I find women in this age bracket aren't judging. They're not judgy. And I so appreciate that because we judge ourselves so much. We're so hard on ourselves and we're our own judge, especially now when you're scrolling through Instagram and you see, you're constantly comparing yourself to everyone else's hair, their makeup, their eyebrows, the way their lipstick looks, whatever it is. But talking to women our age, it's just so, you just let your guard down and you can talk about the gray hair or the hairs growing out your chin or whatever. It's just, it's just so refreshing. Yes. Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank you so much. That is so sweet of you. You did not have to do that. That's, oh, you're going to make me cry. That is so kind. Thank you. It's been an amazing 5 years and I'm super excited to be with you guys for 5, 10, 15, 20 more, as long as you want to keep seeing me. But the wrinkles are going to keep coming through. I'm going to turn off the lights one day and you guys are going to be like, oh, Lord have mercy. Watching you really like hang out with a friend. Do you prefer brush or sponge for blending color correctors? For color correctors, I actually prefer my finger, Tina LaRose, but for the concealer, I used to love to do my concealer with my fingers. I have many videos where you'll see me doing my concealer with my fingers, and I still really do like that method. For some reason, once I started using this brush, I would put it on the back of my hand, my concealer, and let it sit, and then I would pick this up. I think because you can see how dirty this is. I think because of how dense this brush is and how wide the top part of this triangle is, it just fits perfectly right there. I've been using this brush to do my concealer, but up until the time I got this brush, I just was using my fingers. So I guess my answer would be fingers for color corrector, especially that RMS one, because it's thin enough that you can just really work it. And I feel like the brush, because it's thin, the brush doesn't pick it up and put it, or your fingers, the brush does pick it up and put it somewhere else. Because it's thin, I need my brain to slow down with my mouth. Because it's a thinner formula, that RMS color corrector, I find that my fingers don't pick it up and move it wherever I tap. It really does allow me to press it in and slide it in place. Because the thin consistency with a brush, I feel like it picks it up and moves it and almost leaves a, you know, when paint's a little bit wet and you touch it and it kind of leaves a little bit of a ridge. It's real uneven looking. I find that when I use a brush on a more thin formula, even something like this, that I get that uneven textured look to the foundation or to the concealer or to the color corrector. So the thinner the formula, that really dictates for me what I'm going to use, whether it's my fingers or a brush versus if it's a concealer or a foundation. I hope that helps. Talking to women who are also changing careers late in life is so encouraging and more supportive. You know, thank you for saying that. I was going to ask you guys, do we want to talk about that more? Is that a need? Because I went from being in a big corporate job, running $200 million in the US, 27 offices, to sitting in a studio with lights talking to a camera, except once a month where I would get to talk to you guys. And there was a lot of lessons learned. There were a lot of mistakes that I've made and continue to make. But I wouldn't change it for anything. It's very humbling because you go from being at the top of a career. And by that, I just mean, you know, the industry really well. People come to you for questions. And then suddenly you're in your basement and no one comes to you for anything because you're not big enough to have anybody think you even know what the hell you're doing. So it is very humbling, but there's just a lot that comes with it. You need to, looking at the finances. Does it make sense? How quickly can you get back to where you were? Can you ever get back to that? Are you okay with not? The stress level of working, you know, starting from scratch again. There's just a lot of things that I wish I would have considered that I didn't, but I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't go back and change it. I just got tired of not learning anymore. I was in the same industry for those 25 plus years. So I felt like I was speaking the same language in my career, my whole career. I just was using the same terms. And I'm like, I just have to learn something new. So it was for my own mental health, I think. But I'm happy to talk more about that if you guys want to. Maybe because we see that everyone is aging, so judging kind of goes out of the window. So true, right? And judging people on their looks is so mean and dumb and unnecessary because nobody really controls that. So why would, but I think we do it to ourselves, because how many times do you see a little girl and you go, oh, she's so cute. I really wish we could start going, oh, she's so smart, or oh, she's so kind, oh, she's so thoughtful. then go into, oh, she's cute. But nobody controls that. Like, to me, we should be acknowledging how funny or thoughtful or kind someone is or how smart they are 5 times before we recognize that they're cute. So we owned our flaws at this point, so we grant the grace more easily. So well said. So well said. And isn't it less exhausting to just be graceful instead of judgmental? I would tell my younger self that. I probably wasn't as nice to people. I don't think I was mean, but I probably would say, like, don't judge, just give more grace. That's why we're not so judgy. That is so true. That is so true. You guys, I love that our community isn't judgy. I love on our videos where we all talk during the comments that it's all so supportive. I don't think we've had a mean comment in a really long time. And I so appreciate that because I literally start every morning, 7 days a week with a cup of coffee, reading the comments and responding to all of you. And if I had a negative one, it just sets me back for a little bit. So I'm great when they do happen. I don't want to expect that they don't happen, but I don't spend a lot of time on them because your guys' good comments deserve way more of my attention than the negative ones. So I so appreciate that. I switched to nonprofit after being in retail and marketing for years. Oh, I bet that is super rewarding. I bet that's really rewarding. Good for you. Good for you. You know, we hear when we were younger that we'll find something that, do your purpose, find what brings you value and happiness. And it's not always easy to do that, but, and yeah, you have to take a step back sometimes, but it's so worth it when you get to do something like this and pull together like-minded women and just have a Wednesday night hanging out with everybody. You're so right. Grace, kindness, and thoughtfulness. Aw, so true. You guys make these live streams so fun. Let me know whether it's in this comment or in other comments. I do one a month. Should we go to twice a month? Does it work for you? If so, I'm happy to do twice a month. They would replace a Friday face-off because Friday face-offs, you guys know, are the Thursday videos. So we would just do 2 Friday face-offs a month and 2 live streams. But the live streams could be side-by-side comparison. We just wouldn't have the 8-hour wear test on that one, but happy to do an extra live stream a month with you guys. It's so much fun for me and I absolutely love it. So I just love interacting with you guys. Well, I've kept you for, oh my gosh, it's an hour already. It's been 57 minutes, you guys. I'm bummed it's gone so long. I watch Emily D. Baker's broadcast or her live stream sometimes, and they're like 5 hours, and I'm so jealous of her. I'm like, I would love to have 5 hours of just interacting with all of you guys. So maybe we'll just pick a Sunday morning one time and just be like, come on, let's all visit and chit chat. Well, you guys, this has been super fun. I hope it was helpful in terms of the foundations that I would recommend for those of you that are looking for a good drugstore foundation. Price, cost effective. These are all under $21, I think was the most expensive one. Yes, the one that has the least amount of product is the most expensive. All right, L'Oreal, we know you're proud of your face balm, but price on that would come down, but it is good. So hopefully that was helpful and how to apply it, which brushes we use, all that kind of stuff. All right, you guys, I'm sending you a big virtual hug. I'm encouraging you to go eat your moon pies. I know this is what I'll be doing later tonight. I'll probably skip dinner, just go right to the moon pie. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in just a couple days. Sunday's video is a tutorial on an everyday, no makeup look. Just, I think, maybe 6 products under 10 minutes. So be sure to check that out, and I'll see you guys over there. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. Good night.